The darkness of the music of
this podcast. Before we get into the episode, let me just explain a bit about what this is. So, this is the first ever recorded episode of Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams, this podcast. When I first started asking people if they wanted to be on the podcast, I thought I should have kind of a test episode to send them so that they can hear what the podcast will be. This is that episode. So I enlisted my friend Mitch. We had kind of a test interview, and it turned out to be a really great interview. And I was always eventually going to release it, and that day has now come. So just a couple more things before we get into it. Firstly, you'll hear that the intro is very awkward because it was my first time recording anything into a microphone. So enjoy that. And then secondly, Mitch calls me Dougie quite a lot in this interview, and that's just based on my middle name being Douglas, and at some point during our time at NASDA that got picked up and that kind of became my nickname. So that's why I'm called Dougie. So yeah, let's get into it. This is the 15th/-1st episode of Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams, guest starring my good bud, Mitch Anderson. Hello, and welcome to Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams, a podcast in which I, James Shearer, talk to inspiring and talented people in and around the New Zealand theatre industry and find out how they got that way. Today I am joined by my best bud, Mitch Anderson. Mitch and I were in the same year at NASDA. We studied together for 3 years, and in that time, cultivated an amazing friendship that will last a lifetime. Mitch got his start in musical theatre when his drama teacher convinced him to play the lead role in their school musical, Big River. Mitch was more into sport than theatre at that point, but thought he'd give it a go anyway. 8 years later, he has spent 3 years at a performing arts university and has blossomed into the outstanding performer he is today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a conversation with Mitch on Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams. Hey Mitch, how's it going?
Hey Dougie, mate. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's really good to have you here, mate. Just so people at home know, we're recording this on, April 1st, which is the height of the coronavirus pandemic, and unfortunately we can't be in the same room together. One, because of the pandemic, and two, because we're in different countries.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah. So we're on a Zoom call, and this is actually the first ever episode. And if you're listening to this in the future, welcome. Probably sounds really, really shit compared to the high quality podcast that you're used to listening to. So Mitch,
Dougie,
how's this time been for you?
Not too bad. Not too bad actually. I mean, we're only a week in of lockdown here in New Zealand, but it's been pretty chill. We've kept ourselves pretty busy throughout the last few days, just doing random stuff like little mini projects. I even baked some bread the other day, which was interesting. Yeah, it was quite tasty actually. Turned out better than I expected. But yeah, just little things like that to just take the boredom away. We've been watching a lot of wrestling. That's been taking up a bit of our time. Playing a bit of games, recording a bit of music, singing some songs and whatnot. So all in all, it's been pretty good so far. And we've still got another 3 weeks to go before we get out of this. So, ask me the same question in 2 weeks' time might be a bit different.
Yeah. So, Mitch, what's your favourite musical?
Favourite musical? And it's a very hard question, Dougie, because there's obviously so many musicals that people are into. But I've actually written it down because couldn't stop thinking about them all. So I just decided I'd write one down, and I'm just going to go with this one. Favorite musical would probably have to be Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon, yes. Some people may disagree.
I think a lot of people may disagree.
Yeah, with the message that it comes with, but it's a crack up musical. It's funny. It's got everything. Great singing. Great story. Well, the story could be better, to be honest. But I'm there for the comedy. I'm there for the music.
Totally.
I was actually quite lucky to see it. Went over to Brisbane last year. It was amazing. I was in my chair singing along, having a wee bop of the head, to all the musical numbers. that's what drew me into it.
Nice. What's your favourite song?
Favorite song? Oh, again, tough question, but probably Hasadiga Ibawai is a classic. I just wanted to say that on the mic. Hasadiga Ibawai.
Hasadiga Ibawai.
Yeah. But yeah, probably yeah. I mean, all the songs in the musical are brilliant, but there was one standout number. It had to be that one.
It's a banger.
It is a banger. So, yeah. Favorite musical, Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon.
Standing by that. Yeah.
Were you into theatre from a young age?
Well, interesting enough, no, I wasn't. I didn't do my first musical until year 11. Funny, because I just took drama as just a filler subject because I had already selected the classes I wanted to do, and then I had one spot left, and I was like, oh, gee, I'll just do drama. It'll be a bit of a laugh, bit of a throwaway period, I guess. But yeah, a few of my mates were doing it, so that also pushed me towards that. But I was mostly into sport around that time, and so
You were doing cricket, eh?
cricket, rugby. That's the reason why I went to the college I went to, is because it was sports heavy and not so much performing or musical heavy. So initially, the main goal was to come out a cricket star or rugby star or something like that.
And look at you now.
Yeah, look at me now. But yeah, end of year 10, we had like a show to do for NCA or something. And so I did that. And then the drama teacher was like, oh, you should really look into this. You're pretty good at it. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just here to have a good time, have a bit of a laugh. And I think that's, what made me so unique, is that I didn't care what anyone thought. And so I was able to just open up and then have a laugh at the same time. And then she's like, you should take drama next year. And so I did. And I think it was during that Christmas holiday, she asked me if I wanted to perform one of the lead roles in the school musical. And at first I was like, oh shit, I'm going to get so much hate for this. All the boys, because it's all boys boarding school. They're going to be people who are like, oh, don't do that. That's not you. And so that's initially what I was worried about. And so I kind of hummed and hawed about it for a while, and because she was on the phone, she called me on the phone, and I was like, she wanted to answer there and then, and I don't think she expected me to say yes, just because I think she knew my background, but I said yes, very very cautiously. I was like, oh yep, I'll give it a go. And then that year we would pretty much rehearsals started straight away as soon as we got back to school. And before you know it, I was on stage singing. And I was like, what the hell? What am I doing here? And by the end of the whole process, I was like, this is pretty cool. I come from a pretty musical family, not, performing kind of musical theatre vibes, but more like country and western, that sort of folk music. So I would always had like a bit of a musical side to me. I played instruments, drums, guitar, all that sort of thing. But yeah, never really sung, never really performed and acted on stage before. And so at the end of the season, it was Big River, by the way. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was my first ever musical. Yeah, by the end of that show, I was like, yeah, this is a bit of me. I like this. And I was able to balance both sport and musical theatre. But year 13 got kind of more difficult. I had to decide what I wanted to put more time and effort into. And at this point, I was taking singing lessons, vocal lessons and stuff. So I obviously chose the performing side of things. But yeah, my vocal teacher, she was the one who introduced me to NASDA. And she was like, what are you doing next? This is in year 13. What are you doing next year? And I was like, oh, I do not know. Haven't got anything planned. And she just said, well, why don't you give NASDA a go? I hated the fact of auditioning. I still hate auditioning for things now because it's such a daunting process. And when she said that, I was like, oh no, I can't do that. This panel is going to be professionals, like hundies as singers, artists, and tutors. It's literally impossible. I'm not going to be able to cough up the guts to do that sort of thing. But when push came to shove, like it was getting closer, like middle of the year, more the second half of the year. I was like, oh, shit, I want to do something. I don't want to be, one of those guys who's just stuck and doesn't know what to do with their life. And I was thinking to myself, I love performing. I love singing. I love being on stage. I love the vibe. Just give it a go. Apply to audition, and if they get back and you get a time slot or whatever, then just do it. And so I did the audition. At first I didn't think I was going to get in because these guys they don't give anything away. You go in, you sing a song, you do a bit of acting, a bit of vocal tests and stuff like that, but they don't give you anything. A few months later, got the call up from old Angela Johnson. Welcome to NASDA, you're in. And I was like, my heart was pounding, man. My heart was pounding.
Did you think the audition went well? Like, regardless of their...
Yeah, I think I did the best, because I was so worried about the audition. I wanted to get it perfect. Me personally, I think it went well. I don't know how they thought about the whole audition. Obviously, they thought it was alright enough to let me in. Luckily enough, I had a vocal coach at the time, so she took me through the best songs to do, simplest songs to do, and so yeah, I was lucky enough to have that on my side.
Nice. Another question for you: what's your dream role? What's a role that was like written for you?
Written? I don't know if it was written for me. It's hard to come across a role that suits a big Māori man. But dream role, I've written it down again. Just but I've written down two, so that probably doesn't help. I've got the Phantom from Phantom of the Opera, and Jean Valjean from Les Mis. Again, we're going mainstream here.
Mainstream is mainstream for a reason.
Exactly. Hey, exactly, Dougie. You're bang on there, mate. You're bang on. But yeah, probably Phantom more so than Jean Valjean, because you can hide half my face. Just kidding. No, yeah, both roles are physically and vocally demanding. Both journeys of each character is amazing. Not just the singing. Those would have to be my two dream roles. If I had to pick one, probably Phantom, more so than Jean Valjean.
Because you're quite into like opera singing as well, eh?
Yes.
You like singing it, not necessarily.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. This is going to sound bad, but I'm not a fan of watching the whole opera thing.
Yeah,
it can get a bit tedious and boring, but the vocal style, absolutely, the vocal style is it's amazing, and the control and technique that you have to be an opera singer is you take your hats off to them because it's not easy.
Totally. Do you have a favorite role that you've played?
Ooh. You didn't put this on the sheet of questions, Doug.
It's just come to me, as a professional interviewer.
Yeah.
Things just come to me,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Tip of my tongue, top of my brain hole.
But yes, that's what they call it. Yeah, probably final year NASDA, Herschelt from Cabaret. That was probably the most challenging role I have ever done, but in the end, I really enjoyed the process. It's not an easy character to play. Jewish. He's a Jewish character, and you got this Māori guy playing this Jewish character, trying to ace a Jewish accent and stuff. It was a struggle. I'm going to tell you now that the process was a struggle. I got a bit of heat from that role. Wasn't doing well enough, and I knew I wasn't doing well enough.
But then you did well enough.
Yeah, it was enough. Just probably, yeah.
Can you give the folks a taste of like your favorite line?
All I remember is the song about a pineapple. That's right. I remember seeing you naked as well. You butt naked on stage.
That's right.
I got the back end of that as well, because when you came through that door, I was on the other side of the door, and then you came in backward. You opened the door and you came in backwards, and I could just it was just all there. I was like, there it is.
The full moon was out.
Full moon was out. Damn straight. Yeah, no, I've got the worstest memory, man. I can't remember lines, from My Fair Lady, doing My Fair Lady. I've got, I think, one line in that, and I can't even remember it now. And we just did it, a few weeks ago. But it's probably the hardest role I've done. And that's not many, because I haven't done many roles. Yeah.
It's a good role. So back to life after school, obviously, we were in the same year at NASDA.
Yes.
How was that process for you?
All in all, it was good. It was good. I mean, of course, you come across challenges and stuff along the way, but hey, That's life. And you learn from those challenges, and it makes you a better person. It was, in terms of workload and stuff, it wasn't too bad. There was always lull periods throughout the year where you'd have, only little amounts of work to do, but then you have a month of just straight out, just rehearsals each night, assignments due. I think they did the best they could with trying to organize that all. But yeah, I met some great friends, met some great people, some good contacts to have as well. It was good. First year I was a bit naughty. I didn't do as much as well as I probably could have.
Yeah, just getting into it and
just easing into it, because I wasn't into musical theatre till about year 11, year 12 even, and this was all new to me. Everyone had like a strong background of musical theatre.
I didn't.
Oh, Dougie didn't.
Nah.
But he's natural. He's a natural at everything, so he could just go into anything he wants.
Yeah, I was kind of the same as you. Like started in year 11 and went from there.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's majority of people had a strong musical background. Kind of felt like the outcast. Not gonna lie, it kind of felt like the guy who was just there, just to be there. It was all scary as well, because you don't know going in day one. You don't know what everyone's talents is, and I was like, oh, this is real daunting. This is real scary, because everyone can probably sing real well, can dance and act. So it was a daunting time. Year one, and so I was kind of just playing my way through the motions that whole year. But even still, like, I felt as if I could have done a bit better. Could have put myself out there more. Could have handled my assignments on time. Could have done the work and stuff like that.
Yeah, like hindsight is 2020. I think everyone feels like that at some point. I think like every single person in our class would have felt like that on day one. They don't fit in because no one knows each other, of course. So.
Exactly. But there's also this stigma around performers and artists, and especially musical theatre. Some of the egos get in the way, and I kind of knew that. Going into year one. You got to be careful, otherwise, you don't want to go out and be like, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that. And I was scared of that. I wasn't going to do that because I didn't know like what to expect, and so I knew to expect that these guys were going to be good performers and good artists and stuff like that. But so I didn't want to be that guy. So it was just something to be aware of.
I think you're talking about me anyway. So
it was you, the ego on this guy.
Too much.
Too.
Another theatre question. What's your dream miscast role? Like a role that you'd never be cast as, like a female role, a skinny white man role.
I've got a role here that I've written down once again. Billy Elliot.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, just because I guess it kind of resonates with me. It's this little kid. He's been pushed in one direction and he wants to go another way, and so that kind of resonates with me a little bit in terms of sports and musical theatre. And just he's got the talent to do what he wants to do. Like, if he wants to dance, he can dance, and who should stop him from doing that? If you've got a passion, then just go with it. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You just got to do you, and that's why I think I've chosen him, is because not only is he a badass dancer,
like yourself.
Should see me do a shoulder roll, mate. that's a video. If you can cut to that now, that'd be brilliant.
I'll cut to the audio of Mitch doing a shoulder roll.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, just his journey and his process, I guess, relates to me, and so I think that character relates to a lot of performers, feeling like you're out of place, feeling like you're not good enough. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And think of all the pirouettes you could do.
Oh yeah. 3 years at NASDA can barely do 2. Can barely do 2. Oh, actually, you can barely do 1.
Moving away from theatre, your day job. What was it? Parking enforcement.
Parking enforcement officer is the correct title. As of 3 weeks ago, I started a new job working for Wilson's. Before I was doing parking enforcement, which is the guy that everyone loves. who walks around the streets and pings
Just
cars.
the most popular guy
I know.
on the streets.
That's just everyone, everyone's got a nice way of saying hi.
And everyone says thank you for allowing them to donate money to Wilson's Parking.
Absolutely. People love us. But I was parking, you could say parking warden.
So what's your job now?
So now I am maintenance / technical officer for Wilson's Parking. So basically that's just maintaining car parks, fixing machines. If one of them goes down, we fix that. If there's a new client, we've got a new car park to set up, we go and set that up. So that could be like digging holes, setting up fences. So it's quite a physically demanding job. The type of job I like. So yeah, but it comes with, all the benefits: company car, company phone. Fat lot of use it is at the moment. Thing is, we can't go anywhere.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a good job. I'm still in training, so I'm yet to do everything yet, to be trained all the other stuff, because there's so much more. I've only done the real basic bare minimum kind of stuff. My training got put on hold because of this whole lockdown thing. So yeah, looking forward to getting back into it.
Only 3 more weeks.
Yep.
Hopefully.
It seems like a short time, but it's probably going to drag on a bit.
Especially if it goes longer. People don't stop being stupid.
Yeah, people just, don't stay inside, don't listen to old Jacinda. Stay safe, it's not hard. Stay inside. If you need to go outside, go into your backyard or something, go for a walk around there. Just stay away from each other,
So speaking of the isolation,
yes.
And you kind of briefly touched on the My Fair Lady. Obviously, it was meant to open,
on Friday night, the 3rd. Yeah, we're doing the heat of Tech Week at the moment. I'm glad it hasn't been cancelled yet.
Yeah, a lot of things have been cancelled now.
Yeah. So they've talked about postponing it to September. So, which is still a few months away, but you never know. It'll be interesting to see if we go ahead with it or not. I'm hoping that we do. I think it's something that Christchurch will need.
It'll be a great thing if it does go ahead, because when the isolation finishes, people will be able to come to the theatre and come together, and
that's what they want. That's what people want to do. They want to get out of their house. They want to go see entertainment. Hopefully we'll be there. We'll be like, yeah, here we are. We're here to perform. We love to perform. So we're going to share our talents and everything with you, and hopefully they'll love it. I think it was the same with the earthquakes. When we had a little get together with the cast and crew of My Fair Lady, they were talking about how the earthquakes, obviously put everyone into a depression kind of thing. And so I can't remember what they said the show was. I think it was Priscilla. Definitely a musical. It was happy and huge and whatnot. And people loved it. People loved it because they opened up pretty much, I'm not too sure how long after the earthquakes. When they put that show on, everyone loved it. They were frothing of it because that's what they needed. They needed like another outlet, I guess, because they would have been feeling down about things. And what do you do when you're depressed? You go find something that makes you happy.
Yeah, well, that's what I love about theatre, just in general. Even if there isn't a crisis, like if someone is feeling down, if someone is feeling depressed, theatre is kind of there for them to join with other people to watch this thing that people have created.
And that's why we love doing it.
Yeah,
it's because we can put a smile on people's faces and we can make people feel a little bit better than they did before.
Well, on that hopeful note, I think it's a great place to end this podcast.
Brilliant. Oh, well, Dougie, I tell you what, mate, it's been good chatting with you. Sometimes you got to have these chats, just to see where everyone's at.
I was planning to do this anyway, even before this all happened. And everyone's in their home. They want something to do, something to listen to, and something to give them hope. So, thank you so much to Mitchell Anderson for being on this podcast. Where can people find you?
On Instagram, Mitchy Boy. So it's MITCHIIIBO. Looks cool when you look at it, but it probably doesn't sound cool when
I've seen it in person. It looks great.
Oh, there you go. That's probably the best place.
All right, thank you so much to Mitch Anderson for being on this podcast. Thank you to you for listening, and until next time, see ya.
Peace.
Hi, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed that first ever episode of Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams, and all the awkwardness that came along with it, on my part of course. As Mitch said, you can find him on Instagram at MitchyBoy, that's MITCHIIIBOIII. You can also find the podcast on Instagram at And Other Kiwi Dreams. Other places you can find the podcast are Facebook, Twitter, the website, Patreon. All those links are in the description, so head down there and check them out. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time with another episode, another guest, and another conversation. See ya!